Hi everybody, today's July 12th and I got some new stuff to show you in the garden. And I'm going to start right here at the very end where I had my windmill. It got broke in one of the last windstorms. And like a couple weeks ago or even a couple months ago, I had planned on making cucumber beds. And I just never got to it, and they grew over with weeds, everything I had tilled. So thought, I guess I'm not having cucumbers this year. And then I decided I would really like cucumbers this year. And all of a sudden it just came to me. This is the bed I used for zucchinis last year. And it was fine. And they grew okay. And then I remembered I had like this cattle panel here, and I thought, what can I do with this? Or some kind of panel. And so it just all of a sudden came to me, put it around here and do cucumbers. So I do have cucumber seeds planted around here. I just planted them like 2 days ago, and I already see I have one little baby already coming up. So I think, oh, there's another one. Those weren't even here earlier. So there's another one coming up. So I'm thinking this is gonna work out really great, and I'm really excited because I really wanted cucumbers this year. So, and it was kind of bumming because I didn't get around to getting those beds in. So this is great. So this is my first new thing that I wanted to show you because it worked out really good, and it was all stuff that I just had around the house. So it was just kind of sitting around. My neighbor had given me this wire stuff, and it's just been sitting here in the garden because I didn't know what to do with it yet. I hadn't decided, and it just wrapped perfectly around this windmill. So I'm really excited because that is working out great. I have the peppers, most of the peppers planted. There is a few more. I don't know if I'm ever gonna even get around to planting them. I am having still ridiculous problems with weeds. I'm kind of bummed about it by the peppers because the peppers so far had been staying pretty weed free the last couple of years. So this is kind of sad to see the weeds moving in, but the peppers are doing great. Look at how beautiful these are. And there's like all kinds of peppers on them already. I don't really know what the peppers are, but there are peppers on there. So that's exciting. Okay, and then this whole bed, I have this whole long bed. And I planted a few plants in here. But I did not plant these tomatillos. I didn't plant that tomatillos. I didn't plant all these tomatoes. Look at all of those growing in here, and they're beautiful. I'm getting lots of flowers on them. This is my one new plant that I planted this year. So let me go around and I will show you what that is. It looks like tomatillos, it acts like tomatillos, but look, these are ground cherries. I don't even know what a ground cherry is, but my neighbor had asked me to grow them. So I thought I'd try it. At least I think that's what they are. In the pictures, they look like tomatillos. They're just closer to the ground. So I'm pretty sure that's what they are. This is where I planted them, and I'm pretty excited about that. So we'll see how those go. I'm not really sure if I know when I'm supposed to pick them. But yeah, I see more tomatillos in here too. But all of these tomato plants along here, and I'm hoping these should be cherry tomatoes, but I didn't plant any of these. These are all just growing on their own. They all came up from last year, and it gets cold here, so that always surprises me that stuff actually comes up the next year. There's a few, these pepper plants I just planted, so they're a little scorched at the moment, and hopefully they'll come around soon. I'll just fertilize them a little bit more this week or later this week, and they should catch up to everybody else. Just a little behind here. I have lots of dill. That's all self-planted. Oh, there's one thing over here I need to show you. And look at, I've got lots of peppers. My pepper plants are pretty little, but I have lots of peppers. I got little purple peppers here. Unfortunately, a lot of weeds. But still, lots of peppers. Here, look at this one. This is marigolds. That's from my seeds from last year. So I love that. I really like it. I got a couple more here. There's some there and some there coming up. So I just always like that, knowing that I was able to grow those from my own seeds. So it's pretty easy with the marigolds. Then looks like a few of the seeds kind of spread on their own too, because there's one there, and then there's another one there. So that's really exciting. I have finally got zucchinis in. This I have dill, dill growing right in the path. These I planted, those I planted, those. That bed is lacking in nutrients and mulch. So unfortunately, that bed is doing really bad. This one is doing really good. I'm hoping these are more cherry tomatoes. They look like it. More dill in there. I got more dill in here. There is zucchinis coming up, but they're not growing real well. I've been hearing that though. Everybody from all around is having a hard time with zucchini. So I'm not taking that one personally this year. More marigolds. I have lots of onions stuck in here, but I don't know how they're gonna do because there's like, I don't know how those are gonna go. Onions actually are doing really well. I'll show you more of those later. More zucchini, that's very little, but there's marigolds doing good. And more, I finally got some mulch in this bed today. My basil is growing really good, except that it's bolting. I have a lot of stuff bolting this year. And even like these tomatoes, I mean, they're big, but they have tons of flowers on them. Here's one more zucchini, not doing great. None of the zucchini, I mean, it's doing good. This one's doing pretty good. And then I have these two that really are doing good, but like the only zucchinis so far are these two, and one's bent very strangely, and I can't even tell if they've been pollinated yet. So I'm not sure how zucchinis are gonna go, but I was really looking forward to zucchinis this year because last year I kind of screwed up on them. I screwed up on a lot last year, so things I think are looking better this year. I have dill, and then these tomatoes. This is another bed that I think is really lacking in nutrients. The tomato plants just don't stay strong in here. I thought it was my variety because I did those Campbell's variety in here one year, and this is kind of what happened. Everything just kind of starts dying in here. It could also be some disease in the soil because the farmers next door over there do not plant tomatoes here. They take them and they have them at a different place about, like miles away, a couple miles away. So I'm almost starting to wonder if there was a bad disease here, and that's why they don't grow tomatoes there anymore. Because it's kind of like a blight, but it just hits this bed. For some reason, this is where it always starts, and I've cut a lot of leaves off already. I don't know if I should just keep cutting them off. I did put some new mulch on it today, hoping maybe that will help a little bit. I'm seeing a few leaves here and there on the other plants, so I'm getting a little worried. Last year, the plants ended up outgrowing it. I still got a lot of tomatoes, but it's something with this bed is the worst bed, and this seems to be where it all starts. This one, and then that other one that was down a couple. Those two beds, for some reason, really seem to be the worst. So I don't know if I just need to really hit them up with a lot of strong amendments. I'm still working on that. Now here's the other thing that I'm super excited to show you, because I've been trying to get one of these tomato things up for the last couple of years, and it's something I never have time to do, and it seemed like that was going to happen this year. And then I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden somebody mentioned PVC, and I thought, PVC, I can do that. That's not as heavy as wood. So I made my own tomato stand here, and we will see how this goes. I have these little bitty tiny tomato plants on it, but so far so good. I just got the strings on yesterday. It still is not cheap, the PVC pipes. I was just gonna do it like, I was just gonna put it like I had the top all done, and I was just gonna put it on. I thought, here's what happened. I thought, oh, I have these. I already have the T-post in, so maybe I can figure out something with the T-post. Even like a Florida weave, which is what I might end up doing if I ever get those cleared out. And I thought, I'll just put it on the very top, which is kind of what I did. But then they were only just a little bit taller than me, so I kept hitting my head. So I decided to go ahead and get these. They were 10 feet, but I did cut them down. Not enough. I think they're way too tall. I decided to only do one this year so that it's like the tester, to see how it goes. See if I even like growing tomatoes like this. And then if I do, I can do more of these beds next year. So the T-posts are there, and I just put the PVC over, and they were about $8 a piece. They came, sorry, it's really hot out today. They came in 10 feet, and I cut it to about 8. I'd probably do 7 feet because we don't have a long growing season here, but we'll see. Maybe I need all 8 feet. So that's why I thought I'm going to leave it long this year, see how it goes. I can always cut these down. Each of those elbows up at the top were, so it took 6 of those 10 feet PVC. And then the elbows, I want to say were $3 or $4 a piece. The strings are about $1 a piece. I ordered those from Next Level Gardener. And yeah, so they're about $1 a piece. And then the boards up there, they were not a lot. They were like $2 or $3 for 8 feet, and then I cut them in half because my beds are 4 feet. So it took a couple of those. And then I had to get all the hooks. That was like $10. I had to get the cement. That was $10, but I mean the cement that goes around holds the elbow onto the PVC. But I mean that I'll be able to use for a long time. You only go through a little bit of that. I need a drink. So the cement was like $10. So I mean it was a lot, at least to start. Like I won't have to buy the cement again. But I want to say those hooks were like $10 for 25 of them, and I have 24 on there. I probably have too many. Probably should really only do 2 rows, but I'm trying 3. Like I said, this really is just a test this year, see what I can adjust, see how I can make it a little less expensive to make. And so far I love it though. I mean, I just started, I just got it together, and I just got those plants in not long ago. Like I said, and I put the string on yesterday. So so far so good. I mean, it's like, especially that big one. So I figure the big one's more of a test because it's really holding that up once they grow a little bit. So I'm looking forward to that. And if that goes good, I'll try and figure something out with the rest of these beds to do the same thing. Maybe I can leave them 10 feet. Yeah, I don't know yet. I'll figure it out for next year if I like it. I'll let you know by the end of the year. I still have, I forgot to take these off. Trying to take these off. I don't like these panels, and maybe it's because I used 2 and it just was awkward. But I don't really like them. Maybe I can use them for cucumbers or something if I just put one down the middle and over in the other beds if I ever get them done. But so far I don't like them. They're rusty, they're pokey. I don't know. They weren't my favorite. And then I just have weeds. The weeds have been so unbelievably bad here. I can't even tell you how bad. It's terrible. I have someone hopefully coming over tomorrow to help me get these 3 cleaned out. So even if I fill them with mulch, I'm just so sick of looking at them with weeds. So hopefully can do something about that. This bed over here is where I wanted to put my table, and I was all excited because I thought, I'm gonna have a spot to rest. Yeah, well, it grew up to about 4 feet of thistle bushes, and I finally got them cut down. See the rest of those metal things on there, and that's how this is gonna sit the rest of the year. My garlic is buried in weeds, but I think it's almost done. The ends are starting to curl up a little bit here. So this is all garlic, also full of weeds. So not sure what I'm gonna do with these at the end of the year. I don't know why the weeds are so bad this year. It is just unbelievable. I got beans. This whole side, I've almost given up on this side just because of the weeds. I mean, it's like not a pretty garden right now. It is a big old mess. We got this the snap peas in here. They are still growing. They're still doing great. I thought they were gonna be done, and because like all the buds, like they all just died because it was so hot here last week. We're really having weird temperature fluctuations this year. It gets really hot, really cold, and now it's been super hot for a while. Yeah, now we have smoke. So it is just, everything's smoky. I don't know if you can see it. Oh yeah, you can really see it over there. That's all smoke, supposedly from Canada. But yeah, so I got to get in soon because it's not really good breathing that either. And the other thing I'm having problems with this year, besides the ridiculous weeds, is deers. I hadn't had a problem with deers yet, but they are like these beans. They have eaten the tops off like half of these bean plants. So I have a few nice beans, so that's why some of it I'm just leaving in the weeds because then the deer can't find it. Marigolds are just absolutely beautiful. Look at these. I love the marigolds. They're starting to be one of my favorite parts of the garden. Nothing eats them. They're pretty. They're just good. This is gave up on this bed. You can tell there's not enough mulch in here though. So this one's my fault for not keeping up on the mulch in here. You really got to keep piling it in. This one has been a problem since I started because I used weedy mulch to start with and it's just never gone well. I've tried to make it better. This one, the beets, there were beets there and the deers ate those and all of my broccoli bolted. That was the big problem with my brassicas this year. They all bolted like really early. So I even have one of these cauliflowers. I love the cauliflower. I hope I get some this year, even though they're in the weeds. Oh, and my lettuce. I had these lettuce a couple years ago that I put in. Never picked them. They must have flowered, so now they're spreading. It's just lettuce, and it's really pretty when it comes in. It's kind of weird looking, but I'm gonna leave it again. I'm just gonna leave it every year because it's pretty. But this is my cauliflower that bolted. And then I have beets have done. They're in here. They're hiding in here, but they're beautiful, and I'm very excited because I do have a whole bed here of beets. So here's one. Right in here, you can see it kind of sticking up. There's a little tiny one there. I have some really big ones in there, so I'm very excited about that. They did really good. I actually finally tried one because I had never had them before. And I wish someone would have just said, I mean, I've asked so many people, what do they taste like? Nobody ever gives me a good answer. So I finally tried one. It tastes like carrots. Why didn't anybody just say? It's kind of like carrots, but a little different. It's the same kind of texture, at least the one I ate was, and I decided I kind of like them. So I was going to give them all away, but maybe not now. I do have one head of, actually I see a whole bunch now. I have a head of cabbage there. You can't see it. I did keep this. It's supposed to be the like row cover stuff, but I'm using it to keep the deers out. And so far it's helping pretty good, except I can't get to the weeds to pick them out. But a couple of these cabbages actually have head starting in there, so that's kind of exciting. I did put some strawberries in the garden because my strawberries over there all grew over. And I have like these super long, the runners coming out. They're super long, but I think they're super long because they can't really get to dirt. It was the only flaw in this design, but the deers ate them. See, they're just like little piles of weeds there now. That's because the deers got them. I've been trying to help these runners get into dirt. Like I've been putting some piles of dirt around, but that's the biggest flaw in my design here. So there's not really dirt for them to get to because I have the weed fabric under there. Because you have to put weed fabric here because, well, as you can see, the weeds are atrocious. So that's it. I kind of have a mess. It's a pretty messy garden there. This side that's doing good, but look at how mini everything is. I'm not quite sure why everything's like little munchkins. Hopefully they start picking up and they grow a little bit more. But if not, they're cute and they're making peppers. So maybe I just have a short garden this year. We'll see. I love it. I think they're doing great. They are. I can't believe how many peppers are on these plants, and it's pretty neat. I've already taken. I took in a pretty big green pepper already. And no, this is also exciting. There was no blossom end rot. Like last year, that was my biggest problem with the peppers. So I added a lot of lime to these pepper beds, and it's got to be working because look at, see this one right here's one. And no blossom end rot on it. So I might pick that one and take that one in soon. Just because I want to get them before anything happens to them. But so far, none of it. So I'm pretty happy about that. So I'm glad people told me that it just needed some lime because I think that helped. So that's it for today. The garden is still, I feel like we're still in the early stages, even though it's the middle of July already. I still have a few plants in the greenhouse. And if that person who said they're gonna help me really does help me with getting those 4 beds cleaned out, maybe I'll get the rest of the stuff planted soon before it dies in the greenhouse, because it's way too big for what it's growing in. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I hope your garden is doing great. Bye.